Hey everybody, welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up, and this is our Week 6 Rugby Wrap-Up D1A College Rugby Report. In the East, let's go back to Rugby Wrap-Up's Game of the Week last week with number 7 Kutztown versus number 8 Penn State. While we thought this game would be a close battle throughout, Kutztown proved to be a dominant force once again and leaped out to a 22-0 lead in the first half. Winger and hopeful future USA 7-star Dante Noble scored first and was followed by scrum half Kikoa Kawe and fly half Thorne O'Connell to make for an impressive half from the Kutztown backline. Penn State would adjust, however, and they pulled within two tries from winger Jesse Capriati. But it wasn't enough, as Kutztown held on 34-24 to take sole possession of first place in the East and proved me right because I picked them by 7 points last week. In the Big Ten, another storied rivalry, Ohio State versus Michigan. The Ohio State University improved since their loss to Indiana and took on the Wolverines and dismantled them. While Michigan struck first with a quick try from fullback Brian Flowers, Ohio State would quickly find their rhythm and put up 57 unanswered points, with tries coming from basically everyone on the team. We will give props, though, to lock Ben Richards, who scored 2 tries during the run within 10 minutes of each other. Final score 57-14, and Tom Rooney's Buckeyes seem to be hitting another gear, and they may be setting the stage for a huge rematch versus Indiana for the Big Ten championship in November. And I know that Nate Ebner is doing cartwheels in Foxborough. Speaking of Indiana, Mark Cuban's team, the Hoosiers, had themselves a fine game with a blowout win over the Wisconsin Badgers. 12-0 after the first 10 minutes, Indiana would get a lot of time for their subs as they cruised to a 44-3 victory. The Hoosiers now face Michigan State, who was able to beat Indiana for the first time in school history last year in the third-place match for the Big Ten. Special note, our producer, Josh Resio, is a winger for Michigan State. This should be a great one to watch. Lastly, we had some out-of-conference games as Notre Dame, who has played more games already than most teams play in a season, had a huge upset victory over Tui Osborne's St. Bonaventure. Penalty conversions and a try from fly half Leo Fangmeyer, who is no relation to Otto J. Fingwangle, the alias my father used when anyone asked him if I was really his son, have Justin Hickey's Notre Dame squad vying to get back in the top 20 with a 13-10 win. Very impressive in the rain at Notre Dame. Looking ahead in MidSouth action, number 23 Clemson takes on number 5 Navy. Gotta pick the midshipmen in this one, but don't be surprised if the Tigers claw their way into this and make it uncomfortable for Navy. Like in the East, the bar is set high in the Mid-South, and we expect great matches week in and week out. Another match to watch. My nieces Syracuse Orangemen go to Binghamton to try to extend their dominance in the Liberty Conference. Stay the heck away from my niece. Illinois has an interesting matchup as they face The Ohio State University, and they're going to try to slow down that roll that the Buckeyes are on. And finally, our Rugby Wrap-Up Match of the Week features, you guessed, 2 teams from the East Conference. They seem to be sponsoring this thing or something. Number 12 Army welcomes number 13 St. Bonaventure to West Point. A spectacular setting for a rugby match. Both teams coming off losses, and it's going to be a tough one, but I'm going Army. Hey, my dad was a retired lieutenant colonel in the Army. And on that note, we are out of time. Matt McCarthy with this week's Rugby Wrap-Up College Rugby Report from Midtown Manhattan.